Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. Y'all know what time it is, man. I appreciate every single one of y'all. As always, salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. I see all my moderators, man. Salute to the mod fathers in the building. Hug, Jason, Top Beats. I see all my guys, all the members, non-members. Salute to you guys. Do me a favor, man. Wipe them feet. For all the new people, that means hit them thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are not subscribed yet, man, we're almost to 25,000 subscribers. We can't do it without you guys, man. Salute to you guys once again. We're going to do something a little different tonight, man. I got one of my boys in the building. It's not a Raider fan, but diehard football fan. Loves to break down the draft process and has a lot of intel on a lot of these prospects coming into this NFL draft. That is pretty much about a week and a half away. Salute to my brother Dante of East Coast GridIron. Everybody in the nation, man. Salute our guy, my dog. What's good, bro?
What's happening, man? Hey, you already know I had to represent.
Ooh, come on, man. How you got my shirt on? I don't even got one on, man. Salute to my guy. My
man,
dog.
This hot sauce is staying on my desk, dog. I've been trying fries from every damn restaurant around here. It's delicious, man. Let me tell you.
I just want to tell you, man, thank you so much. And let me know, man, whatever you got going on too. I would love to promote it. Real quick, everyone in the building, man, do me a solid real quick. Make sure you guys all subscribe to our guy. I put the link in the comments section. Run those numbers up, man. My guy does really great work, especially breaking down a ton of film over there, man, at East Coast GridIron. Right here, man, is the link. If you guys get a chance to, man, even if you got to leave the live and come back, do so. Run those numbers up for our guy, man. A lot to talk about today. This is the time of the year where we, us football nerds, we get to fan out, right? Like there's a lot going on. You know what I mean? Like it's dope because, we both look at some of these prospects in a different light, right? So we're going to start this off. We're going to do a mock draft here in a little while. And I want Dante, with all the intel that he has on these guys, to be able to do a mock draft for our Raiders, okay? But I'm going to start this off simple and plain. Your top 5 quarterbacks in order in this draft, okay? Because we need a quarterback. That's one of our biggest glaring needs that we have. I do like Aiden O'Connell. I like Gardner Minshew, but we need a guy in this QB heavy draft. Who is your top 5 guys? And give us a reason why. And then I'm gonna go to the next position of need that we have, and give me your guy, and then we'll lead into the mock draft.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as quarterbacks, it's been changing like the last couple of weeks. And I don't put out my final until next Friday. It'll be like my final top 5. So this could change. I don't think it's going to change that much. I think I'm right there, right at the thick of things right now. So number 1, Bo Nix.
Okay, so this is funny because this is a name that the nation does not want to hear.
Yeah,
tied to our organization. I'm actually shocked because there was another name that you had mentioned a while ago, which will probably be somewhere in this list. But Bo Nix, why is Bo Nix your number 1 guy at this point, this late in the game?
So I've just been, this whole draft season, I've been dispelling the myth that this dude is nothing but check down Charlie.
I agree.
And what I've been trying to tell people is, do you understand what Will Stein's offense is? Did you understand when, Kenny Dillingham was there last year? It's predicated on let's get the ball out, let's get you warmed up, and let's take it over the top. Bo Nix was, to me, time and time again when I watched the film, the most efficient quarterback downfield as well. People don't want to know, but Troy Franklin, one of everybody's favorite receivers in this class, had a 10% drop rate last year.
Yep.
Then he brought his brother in, Tej Johnson, who started, being a little bit of a scapegoat for him, the later part of the year. And then it started to stray away from Troy Franklin and go to Tej Johnson. So,
yeah.
But to me, I think Bo Nix's pocket present is elite. I mean, the amount of times that I've seen him, and this is probably the most impressive thing from him, and I think it's just because of his age and how long he's been in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing all the different fronts on defense that he could see. The way he steps up in the pocket, the way that he allows pressure to get to him, but he doesn't get touched and just gets that shoulder underneath and makes that throw downfield. I love the fact that he never gets rattled in any situation. 5 sacks this year. I think he had 6 sacks last year, and it wasn't because of his offensive line. A lot of people love Jackson Powers Johnson, but people don't know he was getting worked before he moved to center. Yeah. Right?
Oh no, at center, look, I'm all for. I think he's going to be an all-pro talent at the next level. But I agree. But keep cooking. I'm here for it. Keep cooking.
Yeah. So Bo Nix is my guy, man. I have nothing bad to say about the guy. A lot of people will say like, oh, the SEC stuff and him coming over to the Pac-12. Did he just leave a harder conference to come over? Well, you got to understand kind of the magnitude of what was going on at Auburn there. They had switched out their coach, switched offensive coordinators. He had said not only him, but other teammates were frustrated with the change.
Yeah.
And he just wasn't feeling it. But if you look at the stats, he improved every single year. He had a major knee injury that had happened when he was there.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't like to paint the full picture. They just think he just like left out.
Now let me ask you something real quick. In terms of Bo Nix, where is his best fit that you think? Because I'm afraid that he's going to go to Denver with Sean Payton. He's going to get his hands on him, and he's going to end up being a great quarterback at the next level. And next thing you know, the AFC West is a gauntlet at the quarterback position, and we don't want that in Raider Nation, right? But I just think that Sean Payton would unlock that skill set, and he would play to his strengths, get rid of the football quick, like you said, do, and then let it go over the top. Where's his best? Where do you think would be the best situation for him to go in terms of coaching, personnel, just all that?
I'm gonna give you 2 teams because I put out a video not too long ago that was very interesting. I got a lot of traction on it, and people are like, man, this video is dope. I like the fact that you thought outside the box. I did what if quarterbacks, the top 6 quarterbacks got drafted to a team that was the right scheme fit and team fit for them versus, high can't miss opportunity, things like that. Because I think that's what happens. I mean, everybody knows, like, why did Jordan Love get drafted where he was getting drafted? It didn't really make sense at the time, but they did it, and it's panning out, right?
Yep.
So I had said Bo Nix to the Bears, and people are like, whoa. But here's the thing. The maturity level of this guy, do you think he's going to get rattled like Justin Fields getting to an offense and a team that going right up north to a team that he didn't really want to go to? Everybody saw the draft day face on him, right? It was like, I don't know about this, Captain.
I love this because, bro, you are very brave to say that because, I mean, at this point, it's just Caleb Williams or bust for Chicago Bears at this point. But in terms of personnel and in terms of what they're doing, I can definitely see that, though. I can see if Caleb Williams wasn't the guy to go to Chicago.
Well, I think what Bo Nix brings you versus a Justin Fields and Caleb Williams is the fact that the maturity level for me and the fact that he's not going to get rattled with all that pressure in his face. Now, it was a come to Jesus meeting for Justin Fields. We obviously knew that.
Yeah.
But with the pieces that they've built around them so far, getting DJ Moore there, bringing Keenan Allen over, and he's able to sling it downfield, to me, that just seems like a great fit for him. But what is scary is if he goes to this team, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went here. Him under oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Dude from USC, coach for the Arizona Cardinals. Why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury. If he goes to the Commanders, what Cliff Kingsbury could do with a guy that is all around great on his legs and got an arm, and just how creative Bo Nix can be, that's the scariest part for the scariest team for Bo Nix to go to for me, for sure.
Now, in that situation, the Commanders would have to pretty much trade out, pick up a bunch of draft capital and take Bo Nix, because I don't think they would take him at 2. I think that fan base would absolutely they're marching up with picket signs and everything. And mind you, I'm not saying that Bo Nix is not going to get it done at the next level, but at this point, it's just a clear cut from the national, opinion. It's Jaden Daniels, it's Caleb Williams, and then it's whoever else after that, right?
Yeah,
but that's interesting though. Him, and
I one thing else to add on the Bo Nix that I just I just have to throw out there. I just hate the misconception with him. And you've seen his film too. Yeah. That Will Stein offense too, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't control him being able to check down. But what I can tell you, season throughout the game, you can go back and watch the 2 Washington games last year that they lost. It wasn't because of Bo Nix.
Yeah.
He was doing his job. So if you want that commander type of quarterback where his teammates are going to demand a respect for him, he is the strongest in the class at that. There's no red flags. I know the thing came out and a bunch of Raiders fans was like, I don't know if he's going to be able to survive in Las Vegas.
I didn't agree with that, bro. I
didn't agree with it either.
I hated that, bro. Like that. But go ahead. I want to hear your take on that because I already spilled mine into the. But go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say because that was crazy.
I mean, my take on it is like, again, like I said, you got to deal with the magnitude of what he dealt with, like his family being all Auburn, his dad being an all-star at Auburn, all the adversity he had to deal with. But not everybody's going to list it unless you're a college guy like me to know exactly what he dealt with. Mm-hmm. But again, wouldn't you want a team to welcome you, even if it's a West Coast team that's going to stay with you even at your faults? Because last year he had a couple faults. He had lost the first game of the season, wasn't looking too hot, and they stuck with him, and he became better and better and better down the road. So I don't care what anybody says. The Pac-12 was the best conference last year. The shebang that they had before they reduced down was kind of an FU to college football. You know what I'm saying? It was like, dang, what could have been? And he was a big part of that, regardless if he lost, 3 times to Washington or not. Those games were good because he was in it. You can't tell me that there was like Ty Thompson being his backup to come in and have those type of games that Bo Nix had. No, I absolutely don't think that would have been the case.
Okay, let me ask you this real quick before we get to the next quarterback. Give me an NFL comp on Bo Nix.
NFL comp on Bo Nix. Now this is gonna be a funny one, but you got to hear me out here.
Okay, all right.
So I have Josh Dobbs.
Okay,
and then I'm also gonna throw in there a little bit of Sam Howell. That's where I think his potential. That's where I think his comp is. I don't think that's where his ceiling is.
You know why you're gonna get cooked for that, right? Because Dobbs is a career backup, and we don't know what Sam Howell is. I think the Commanders gave up on him too quick. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they should have held on to him.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, in this year's draft, they should have held on to him. I think he's going to be. He may win that job eventually down the line. If Seattle doesn't somehow get Michael Penix or go get a quarterback, he may win that job eventually and take it from Geno. He may be that guy. I love the Commanders. Kind of threw him to the wolves last year, Dante. Let's just keep it a buck, bro. Like he had to throw the ball a million times a game out there. The run game really wasn't going. The defense really shit the bed for him last year. But Sam Howell and Josh, that's an interesting combo right there.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me why, right? So the positive things about Josh Dobbs when he gets the new team and he brings the hype to him, and we see just the way that he's able to be creative. I think he has a creativeness that Josh Dobbs can have when he's confident, right? When he doesn't have all the pressure bearing on him 3 games into a new team, and now people are starting to figure him out. The positive things about Josh Dobbs, that's what I see in Bo Nix. But Sam Howell, the reason why I say he's like Sam Howell is because Sam Howell will sit there and run the offense that you want him to. And he's also got an arm down the field that a lot of people just underrate for whatever reason. I think he has one of the strongest arms downfield. He just wasn't able to showcase it. I mean, let's be honest. Was Rivera really trying to throw it down the field? He wasn't even trying to do it with Cam Newton. Cam Newton was like, I'm going off kilter, bro. It is what it is. But that's what I see.
I love this because you have a different philosophy on all this. And I'm here for it, man. Salute to KC. Great show and guest. Love the show and draft chat. Salute to KC on the $2 donation. And salute to the Mod Fathers, man. Jason and my brother Hug, man. And salute to all the new members because of them. I appreciate you guys. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. And once again, subscribe to my brother Dante over there, East Coast GridIron on YouTube. The link is in the comments section. Okay, so we got Sam Howell. We got Bo Nix.
You spoiling.
I know. Who else you got?
Number 2. Now I was fighting with this one for a long time. Caleb Williams is number 2.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan, but I hate having to defend him because I'm not the biggest fan of his, and there's a big reason why. But the positives are the positives, right?
Yes.
I always tell people that. This is the thing with Caleb Williams. He gets laughed at because of the painted nails and the dress photos for the whatever, and him crying in his mom's arms.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really strongly about this, right? I think it was after the Utah game where he went up to his mom, and that was one of the games that pretty much knocked him out of contention.
Yes.
Let me tell you a stat that not everybody's going to tell you. 126 out of 133 schools was their defense. Is that a Caleb Williams problem? Absolutely not.
There you have it.
120th out of 133 in offensive line pass protection. That's not a Caleb Williams issue.
Yeah.
Now here's the real statistic that I always choke people up on. I'm like, you can go and research it. I'm not just throwing out numbers to throw out numbers. Number 6 in the nation in total points scored. Number 6. So all the mishaps that happen in a game of football, it's easy to blame the quarterback. But how can you argue out of 133 schools and hundreds of players, he was number 6 in the country in points scored?
Yeah.
That's putting your team on your back.
And he really have a number 1 receiver? I mean, Brendan Rice, they kind of threw the football around. You know,
Dorian Singer was supposed to win the Bolitnikoff at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
he was suspect.
There you have it. They, I love their young running back. I would love if he was a Raider in those mid to later rounds. Lloyd is a dog, but like the offensive line wasn't the greatest. There was a reason why he had to do what he had to do. There was a lot of what do they call it? What do they call heroic ball, hero ball? You know what I'm saying? But he got the job done at the end of the day, Dante. Like that's all that matters. And I don't care about the nails and what you wear and what you got. I
don't care about that either,
bro. It's a new world. It's a different like this isn't. I know you're a lot younger than me. You know what I mean? And a lot of the older guys, we come from that old gritty, everybody, manly man. Look, I don't care.
Oh, I grew up in a military family.
Then there you have it.
Hell yeah. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But then again, when you're number 6 in the country in points scored, that's got to paint a different picture. What you're trying to tell me is that the painting nails and the dress wearing and crying in his mom's shoulders, that's just how you feel. That is not real statistics. I just brought out real specific facts to tell you that Caleb Williams is a great player. And I would be crying in my mom's arms too when my defense gives up how many damn points a game, my offensive line doesn't block. And I know I did everything I could for my team at every given moment to put us in position. To me,
bro, I watched Sam Hartman.
I understand why he was upset.
I watched Sam Hartman absolutely destroy that defense. And you know me, I'm a Notre Dame guy, and I'm not a huge fan of Hartman. I know you love him, but
you got me.
But I watched him absolutely cook that defense. You know what I'm saying? So, look, I love it. But let me ask you real quick: what's his deficiencies in this game in your eyes? Watching all the tape on Caleb, what's the problem with this game that you don't like?
I have to take the beer goggles off when I watch him, right?
Okay.
Because the easiest thing to say is his deficiencies are he's trying to do too much.
Okay.
And I guess you could say that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But how do you measure that? It's kind of hard to measure that. So what I go back to is mentality. Not mentality, him crying in his mom's arms and things like that. Slow that out the window.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times are you going to get compared to Patrick Mahomes in your career?
Yeah.
And you just won the Heisman. You got all the expectation on you. And now they know that you can make plays like Patrick Mahomes in college because you haven't done it in the NFL. And now you have to carry that throughout the year.
Yeah.
And still be number 6 in the country in points scored. He's in his own head. I mean, it's like we're all human, right? If you keep hearing that you're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, after 100 times that you're hearing that you're something that you don't think that you are, you got to kind of believe it at the end of the day.
You're going to buy into it at some point.
Exactly. You would be dumb not to as a human being. So I think he's just in his head too much. And I want Caleb, if I was his quarterback coach, and I've coached quarterbacks, right? Be yourself.
Yeah.
If you know that you can make a play, be confident that you can make the play. Don't try to think that this play is going to be ESPN top 10.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what he was focusing on so much. Be more of a leader to your teammates. Tell them what you need. I don't know what it's like in those 4 walls. So I'm just kind of speaking. That
comes with time, though. Like that comes as you age, you get a little older, you become a little wiser, and you kind of you're not smelling yourself per se as much as you used to, right? It comes with time. I think when he gets to Chicago and he sees the DJ Moores, he sees the Keenan Allen, he sees all these, the sweats around, he's gonna be like, okay, I gotta buy into what they got going on. It's not about me anymore, in which it will be a city. But I wanted to ask you, how do you think he performs in that climate in Chicago? Because I know he's from the DC area. It's a different situation playing out there at USC. I know he's went around the country and played before, but playing most of your football in Chicago in the Windy City, does that affect your thought process on how he'll be productive at the next level?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's a reason why Josh Allen is good in the weather that he's good at. It's cold as hell in Wyoming in the second half of the year that you're playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of hot weathered quarterbacks going to cold weather situations. This is why I was such a big fan, and I know we're going to get to him, of Sam Hartman going up to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
You're primarily down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at Wake Forest.
Yep.
Let's get yourself up to a better team, get yourself in a new system, try to learn all that, but also deal with a bigger crowd, bigger expectations, and the weather.
Yeah.
Because you're going to play those other teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Williams played at Oklahoma, and he played at USC.
Yeah.
Very nice weathered states for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
How's that going to happen in Chicago where it's different? You don't play these teams all the time. The coldest weather team that you'll probably play, maybe Oregon and Oregon State, but really and truly, it was Notre Dame.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one time a year that you got to be great in that weather. Now you got to do that, 8 games a year?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. You got to go through, I know that's one of those a feeling thing, but if you look through the history of quarterbacks that have come from hot weather states and going to cold weather teams, it generally hasn't worked out well for them.
Yeah. And look, we know as Raider fans, we seen Derek Carr, California guy, play at Fresno State, really successful there. Had some success with us as well, but we can never get over those cold weather games, going to KC and getting cooked, Pittsburgh getting cooked.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't the same. So I agree with you. Let's real quick before we get into the next guy. Salute to True, man. I appreciate you on the $2 today. Salute to my brother LV Maximus, also one of our mod fathers. Appreciate you, brother, on the five memberships, man. Salute to all the new members. If you guys want to become a member, also hit the link. It's pinned up top. Let's talk about this guy. I'm a Notre Dame guy. I know. Is he still on your list? I want to know. So
he is.
Okay.
He's coming up.
Now I want to ask you, like even if it's not in this order, let's just talk about Sam Hartman here. A guy that he had, I think, roughly about 2,700 yards last year. He had like 24 touchdowns, 8 picks, QB rating somewhere around 75.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see from him enough that puts him in your top 5? Because I've said this since day one with you. I called him a UDFA. And everybody's like, you're a Notre Dame guy. Like, how do you have him as a UDFA? Well, maybe a QB needy team, I think, maybe takes him in the later rounds. I just personally, talent-wise, I have him as a UDFA. So why do you have him rated so high? Like, well, you sell me on Sam Hartman. You're his agent right now. And I'm thinking about drafting a quarterback. Why am I taking Sam Hartman?
The pro-style quarterback is something that we don't see often. And I broke down film on this one play where they were within the 5 on the opposite side of the field, and he had to drive them down.
I know. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
And that right there just showed me that playing quarterback is more than just with your arms. When you coach quarterbacks, you tell them you got to sell the play because everybody's looking at where your head movement is, where your eyes are.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be able to sell it outside of just throwing the ball or running the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the best at that and disguising everything that he does. This is why I give Sam Hartman so much credit. The ball's on him to go up to Notre Dame, be under a second-year coach, learning a brand new offense. Tommy Rees was supposed to be there. Tommy Rees left and went to Alabama.
Yep.
So that was a big change for him too, because he even came out and said Tommy Rees was one of those guys I wanted to come and learn under. So then you have a switched offensive coordinator. Here's the game that I would tell everybody that if you don't believe in Sam Hartman like I do, that's your opinion. I respect it.
Yeah.
Clemson at Wake Forest 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins is my number 1 corner right now.
Oh, and I don't think anybody in the comment section will be mad about that.
Nate Wiggins is my number 1.
Yeah, phenomenal corner. Mm-hmm.
He carved him up with A.T. Perry. And A.T. Perry is a jump up and go get it in the end zone type of guy.
I like A.T. Perry. I'm gonna be maybe I'm just in the minority here. He was one of my under the radar guys.
Oh, he was one of mine too.
I think at some point he's gonna be really good in New Orleans too. He just hasn't really gotten that many opportunities. But I hear you. I know what you mean.
He was very one-dimensional on how they use him though.
Yeah. 50-50 guy. 50-50 guy.
Sam Hartman put up like 5 or 6 touchdowns, and he was not the reason why they lost that game. I came away from that game like, hold up now. Then you go look at the stats.
Yeah.
Number 5 or 6 all time in yards, touchdowns. Sam Hartman was doing some work and he was carving people up. You don't get yards and touchdowns and on the top 10 list if you're not. So that's where you got to start believing a little bit of the stats too. I'm not a big stats guy. Like, I told you before, I love Dejon Edwards.
Yes.
I think he's going to be the best pro out of all these guys probably later on in his career.
I'm not mad at it, but that's if anybody really watched Georgia, you would understand the guy can run the football. Like he can I agree with you. And all these mock drafts, I see him available in the 6th, 7th round. And I'm like, man, I have him as a mid-round grade. Like, and he can even be better than that at the next level. I mean, even Zeus was a mid-round grade, and we ended up getting him in the 4th round. You know what I mean? So, and now he's our number 1 running back. You know what I mean? And Georgia product as well. I agree with you on that. Let me ask you this: where do you have Sam Hartman in terms of being drafted? Like, where do you have him? Do you have him as a first day, 2 day, second, third day? UDFA? What do you have now at this point?
I don't think he's going to go to UDFA because I mean, think about it, Graph. How many teams are still just so up in the air about their quarterback situation? I mean, think about how many teams really know they got their guy. Yeah. Then think about the other teams that they don't. Mm-hmm. Then you start thinking, maybe Pete Carroll was right with drafting Russell Wilson in the 3rd round and having him start over Matt Flynn.
Yeah.
Preseason for quarterbacks changed the whole trajectory of how people look at them because they look at more than just the stats, right? Mm-hmm. And I also was the test of time here, and this is if I could tell anybody, because I just graduated from the Academy of Scouting not too long ago too. So
congratulations, brother.
Yeah, and head down, trying to learn this stuff too. And one thing that we all collectively learn is the stronger, and I had this sentiment even before going into it. The stronger your positional rooms are, the stronger your team is.
Yeah,
I'm a Jaguars fan. I think Trevor Lawrence would have been better with better pieces there.
Oh, definitely.
CJ Beathard is not going to move the needle for a talented guy like Trevor Lawrence, right?
No.
That's what Sam Hartman's going to bring for you. If he's not a starter, he's at least going to show you that he's in the room.
Okay. Two teams that I have that potentially look at him. New England takes one early, okay? But I think that they may, in this draft, take 2. They may double dip. And later on, I love Bailey Zappi coming out of college. And I
did too.
Bro, I love it. And look at all the records he had out there. It was nasty. He was killing.
It was nasty work because he broke Joe Burrow's records the next year.
Bro, he was cooking. He was cooking, but he went to the wrong situation. I mean, look, they destroyed Mac Jones out there, and Bailey Zappi at this point, he's just kind of thrown to the wind at this point. Keep an eye on them in those later rounds, and maybe Pittsburgh drafts him later on as the 3rd guy. Apparently, they're still looking for another quarterback. I can see them taking him in the later rounds, keeping Justin Fields, keeping Russell Wilson, and having him sit behind those guys.
You know where I think he's going?
What's up?
New England.
Yep, there you go.
I know we talked about Bailey Zappi and them.
Yeah.
But they're going to choose a guy. And if J.J. McCarthy and Sam Hartman are in the same room, and you got Jacoby Brissett and Bailey Zappi there,
yeah,
somebody's going to do some nasty work out with the Patriots.
I like that. I like
that. Going in the 6th round, though. I think he's a 6th round guy.
Okay. So we're on the same page then in terms of Sam Hartman, because I know at one point you were really, really sold. Like, he's one of my favorite guys in this draft. But
he's one of my favorites. But I got to be realistic,
Yeah.
On what NFL teams want.
I love it. I love it. Okay, you got Sam Hartman out the way. And real quick, give me a comp on him as well. Is there anybody in the NFL that he reminds you of?
In the NFL right now, he reminds me of Kirk Cousins the most, with a little bit more mobility.
I can see that. Yeah. I think that's actually spot on. That's and if he ends up being anything close to Kirk Cousins, then he's going to be out here. He's going to be out here stealing a lot of money from a lot of teams,
especially with the Garnier. You know what I'm saying?
There you have it. You have it. Okay, I like that. Who's your?
He's my number 4 guy.
Okay,
my number 3 was Michael Penix Jr.
So here we are. Okay, because our Raiders need a quarterback, and I think at this point, I know a lot of people in the chat. Where's the Raider talk? It's going to come. Trust me, you guys. We're going to talk Raiders. But we got our brother. We got to talk more. We got to talk the whole NFL at this point.
Yeah.
But we need a quarterback. Jaden Daniels has been a pipe dream since day one. I mean, moving up to the top 3 to get him. Not saying it can't happen. It definitely can. We've seen stranger things happen at the NFL draft. But Michael Penix has been a realistic option for us at 13 for a long time. And even, a lot of people had him fall into the 2nd, and I never really bought into that narrative. I always took him in the 2nd round because he was there, but it was like I never really truly believed that he'd be there. I knew after his pro day and all that other stuff, he was going to continue to rise up boards. Before we get into why you like Michael Penix and why the pros and cons, I want to ask you, in terms of the Raiders in this draft, what would be the guy that would fit us? Our need at quarterback 1 over Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew at this point. I know you watch everything, but I know you're not. Yeah. You're familiar with us. I know that, but
absolutely.
Luke Getsy's our new guy. He struggled with Justin Fields. He didn't really fit what he was trying to do within his system. He kind of had to tailor make it around him, and the success wasn't there.
And I don't think it was all Luke Getsy.
No, definitely not. It was a lot of film.
I think he wanted to make Justin Fields something else, and he just didn't have the line to do it. Right?
And there you have it. There you have it. But at this point, I mean, who could be the guy to come in and
are we talking about realistically, or somebody that you're going to trade up that you can possibly get?
Well, Caleb's not going to be a guy, and I think Drake May is going to be available. We may, if we really truly want Drake May, we can go get him. But I don't think Caleb's realistic. You're going to say Jaden Daniels, right? I think that's who is that where you're going to go?
No, I was actually going to say Bo Nix. I think he fits you. You know, you asked me earlier who the two teams were, but I just think Bo Nix is so well-rounded that he could pretty much go anywhere. Okay. But if you're asking me best fit out of all the guys here, it's Bo Nix. But I also have a sneaky name that you guys can pick up later on the round who is also on my top 5 list, and that's Michael Pratt.
Oh, okay, Tulane boy.
I love Michael Pratt. Like, I think that in this quarterback class, hot take, a lot of people got deficiencies, but the only deficiency Michael Pratt has was a couple of the injuries, and we weren't really able to see his real talent. He never had a 1,000-yard receiver.
He's a winner.
He's a winner. He beat USC. It wasn't just Tyjae Spears. It was him too.
Yeah.
And he's got one of the strongest arms in his class outside of Joe Milton. Ooh. And it's accurate. It's accurate as hell too.
Okay. I like that. And for people kill me because, you know, salute to some of my people that I know. They told me that Tom Telesco loves Bo Nix. So, and it wasn't because of the Oregon connection, you know, him drafting, you know, their guy down there with the Chargers now. It had nothing to do with any of that. It had everything to do with, I love the talent there. It's not, you know, it's not the name on the helmet. I just love what Bo Nix does. And what I'm hearing is Tom Telesco likes him a lot. So I could definitely see it. If he's available in the second round and we choose not to go quarterback in the first, let's just say he falls to the second, I wouldn't be mad. But I like Pratt. Now, before we get there, because I know we're just kind of jumping over, Michael Penix, give me, I want a pro comp and I want the reasoning of why he is where he is within your top 5 list.
Man, I know I said Sam Hartman is close to Kirk Cousins, but the guy that's even closer to him is Michael Penix. But you got to think the fact that he is scary athletic when he wants to be. This is why I think Michael Penix is the best fit for the Vikings with Kevin McConnell than he is with any other team. Because if they get him, they put all the poker chips in. And I think they're going to be scary in the next couple of years. That's who his pick, you know, his comparison is to me. Now, as far as why I like him, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I wasn't the biggest Michael Penix fan, and it had nothing to do with injuries. People got to get that injury stuff out of their minds. Yeah,
Indiana years ago, a whole different system.
Yeah. The thing that I have to say is, like, it's been 2.5 years, and he re-aggravated the 2 same injuries. So really, people were talking about 4. It was really just 2. Yeah, and they had no up in Indiana. Let's stop. Yeah. He gets over to Washington, gets guys around him. They treat him well, right? The thing about Michael Penix Jr. last year compared to this year is I wanted to see if he was going to be as creative as he was when he was at Indiana. Indiana, he was able to throw it downfield. He was able to make things happen with his legs. Last year, he was kind of check down Charlie. The Bo Nix thing that happened this year with people, that was Michael Penix last year, and I wasn't a big fan of that. Then, remember, Jalen McMillan was their number 1 receiver last year. It wasn't Roma Dunze.
Yeah.
Then it switched. It was Roma Dunze, Jalen Polk, and then now Jalen McMillan.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a maturation process of you trying to get to know these guys and bringing guys with you.
That's a great
your number 1 guy last year wasn't your number 1 guy this year.
Yeah.
And I love that because he did some work in the offseason and they got him super comfortable, right? And I love that about him. The only game that I thought he struggled in that gives me concern, Graph, was the national championship game.
And that's where everybody goes to. Yeah. I get it. I mean, you're facing one of the top defenses in the nation. You know what I mean? He was beat up a little bit. He definitely was getting thrown all over the place. I mean, and you're under the national spotlight, right? If you're going to be a first-round guy, you got to show that you can play under the big lights. And I just think Michigan was the better team, though, brother. Like, they had a great defense. Their run game was insane. I mean, both their running backs just absolutely dominated that Washington defense. I mean, you know, but I hear you, though. Penix had a rough.
I watched it again the other day, and this is what I'll tell you. He's a baseball player. So when you watch quarterbacks, this is one advice I can give people. if you see a lot of balls that are thrown short in the dirt, pause, it's because they're throwing the ball like a baseball and they're putting too much whip on it versus somebody like Sam Hartman, who's
I've seen Russell Wilson do it before, and he's a former pitcher.
You see it a lot out of just former baseball players. And he did that a lot in the national championship, but also it was just like, dude, you have such a good connection with these guys all year long, and you're overthrowing them just by a little bit. And you have a clean pocket sometimes, but how can I trust you in these big moments to do that with the clean pocket and overthrow the guys that you've been throwing to for 13, 14 games up to this point? And that was a big concern to me. Like, it just hit me a little different when I watched it. I was like, is it nervousness? Is it I can't perform in the moment? But you got to, like you said, you got to kind of take that game away as an anomaly because we've seen him beat Oregon 3 times in a row, which that's a huge game. And he performed very well. But I wouldn't say that he was the best quarterback in those games either. So
what does he look like in a Raiders jersey, Dante? Like you, if you see him in that Getsy system, what does he look like? Because we don't have one of the greatest O-lines, but we have a serviceable O-line. It's usually it's in that 10 to 15 range, and we're gonna go get a tackle in this draft. We're gonna get a guard. Our left side from center to over is set in stone. How do you think he would fit with what we're doing out there with Antonio Pierce and Getsy calling the O?
I think it's going to be some growing pains for you guys halfway through the season, because I think, and you guys got a running back now that can do this. Got to be able to catch out of the backfield a little bit, and that's what he needs. He needs somebody to warm up to that. Do the Will Stein approach, because they kind of did that in Washington too. Let's get it out and then shoot it down the field as much as we can until they tell us to stop. But that's where he gets in his own head. He started trusting his arm, and them throws started being in the dirt. But I think once you got to get that offensive line short up, because I think that's a big, huge issue of his, or where his confidence does come from too.
Does Penix beat out Aiden O'Connell in year 1?
That's a great question, and I think they're scary similar on how they play too.
Because he's another pro style quarterback out of Purdue. Like another kid that came in year 1 and showed us some things that rookies should do, which is take their bumps and bruises. But would he beat Aiden O'Connell in year 2? Because remember, there's another system now too. It's no longer Josh McDaniels. And then once he left, Bo Hardegree was calling the offense. He was a first-time coordinator. So our offense was kind of on the fly, like still running Josh McDaniels, but trying to give some different looks. And it was just nasty work. But he made lemonade with bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
With
like
tomatoes, man. He made lemonade.
You know what I'm saying? So, but do you think in year 1 that he would potentially beat him out?
I think
in a second, you guys. I got you. Great questions too.
Yeah, I think that's a complicated question, because you got to look at it like this, right? Aiden O'Connell's game is great within 5 to 15 yards and consistent downfield a lot.
I agree.
Who wants to be there downfield a lot? Devontae Adams, and he's going to play the slot. And who can get it downfield? Michael Penix. But where does he struggle? Within that range. So they're pro style quarterbacks, but their heat maps are different. So who's ever going to succeed in that? And I'll tell you what's going to happen. Michael Penix Jr. is going to be the favorite because he's going to get the ball to Devontae, and Devontae's got a lot of voice now with Antonio Pierce. So I think it would be Antonio Pierce trying to figure it out. He might give Aiden O'Connell the chance to step up. It'll be nasty work for about the first 4 weeks. And then you might see the Michael Penix show. And I think you guys will hit your lumps and your bumps until I think, to me, the Raider season, if that happens, man, I see it exactly going like this. The last 5 games of the season is going to come up to you guys getting a wild card spot, and Michael Penix Jr. is just not there yet to get you over the hump, and that'll be a game by like 3 points that you guys lose just because he couldn't get you guys downfield.
All right, y'all, we're going to end this live now. You guys have a up and down. It's all good. Hey, it's all good. Real quick. Let me get these supers in real fast. We have some questions for you. Salute to one of the mob fathers, my dog Jason. East Coast GridIron. What do you think about Joe Kane, quarterback from ESU?
I don't know. I'm always be honest. I don't know a lot about Joe Kane. So don't really have an opinion on him. But I'll put him on the list.
We just talked about him the other day at the Cigar Lounge. And I still need to do some homework. So hey, Jason. I like that. I like this. So, hey, if you could stump somebody that breaks down film all day, that's homework for you, brother.
It's thousands of players, man. I try,
love
but
it.
I'll always be honest, man. I'm my own worst enemy. I don't need anybody else to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but I love that. I love that. So keep an eye on him, man. Salute the top beast. Yeah. Docs, ask East Coast if he thinks the smart move will be for the Raiders to move up to 10 if Penix is available, or who does he think will be there at quarterback? I think what Top was pretty much saying was, do you move up to get Penix, or do you sit there at 13? Because I'm thinking if it goes your way, you take Bo Nix at 13, right?
You almost have to if he's there. I think Penix would be in the 20s, maybe in the second round. Yeah. But I just think people are not going to want to miss on these quarterbacks, man, because nobody's a sure bet, even Caleb. That's what's so great about this draft. How many times have Drake May moved and Jake Daniels moved already?
So our brother Jason hit you with the program movie. He wanted to test you to see if you were going to do some. Oh yeah, man, he's great in the pocket. You know what I mean? I love it. I love it. I love it. If you ever got a chance to, the program's an older football movie.
Yeah,
go watch it, bro. Go watch it. That was fire. Jason tried to, and guess what? Our brother passed the test. I love it because I even failed it. I forgot that was Joe Kane on that movie. That's hilarious, bro. Oh, I hate you, Jason. I hate you, brother.
Hey, and I was about to ask who ESU was. I'm like, Eastern. I was like, hold up,
Eastern.
I put it to the side actually on my spreadsheet right here. I said ESU.
I could have sworn we were talking about him the other day.
FCS school? What the hell?
That is hilarious, dog. Jason,
I passed the test.
You definitely passed it. You definitely passed it. Let's get some more questions in real quick. We'll put some questions in the comment section while we finish up the top 5. Who's your next guy? We got Bo Nix. We got in no order. Just we're gonna go Bo Nix, Sam Hartman. We got
Caleb Williams,
Michael Penix. Who's your last guy?
Yeah, so it's Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Sam Hartman are my 4. My last guy, we talked about him a little bit, Michael Pratt.
Okay.
Michael Pratt to me is, I don't see any deficiencies in this dude's game. It's hard for me to sit there on film and point out, like, I wouldn't have thrown that. I wouldn't have rolled out the pocket and thrown that pass.
Yeah.
To me, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in this draft. He can make every single throw, and I can't say that about everybody. But the sample size is this small. So do you take a small sample size with a guy that gets injured every once in a while, and you bank on his talent meeting up with that?
Mm-hmm.
The scariest guy, and I compare this kind of to Spencer Rattler too. Like, Spencer Rattler's arm talent has already been proven. Okay. Michael Pratt's arm talent is yet to be seen. That's what I kind of say. Okay. If you didn't watch Michael Pratt, then you would probably say Spencer Rattler's probably got the most arm talent. But I think they're kind of like one.
I agree with you, though, and I think that there's a lot of potential there. I think a lot of people just look at the smaller school and just assume that he can't get it done at the next level. You know?
Yeah, I don't count that winning and losing stuff, to be honest. Like, I can't sit here and say that my evaluation of a quarterback comes down to wins and losses. We talked about it with Caleb Williams. Well, number 6 on 133 schools is not, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that tells you that he can win. It just didn't have the pieces around him. Michael Pratt won against USC. He won against Caleb Williams. Mm-hmm. He continues to win. I think he's the most winningest quarterback in the American Athletic Conference since they've been a conference. So, and he's broken a couple records there too. Broken a couple records at his school, even despite his injuries.
Yeah,
I just think his ability to have 6 or 7 different receivers in a game that he throws to and able to spread the love, shows me that he's got a great relationship with that offense. How many times have you watched an NFL game? It's like the same 4 receivers every single game.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you got a running back.
Bro, we watched Derek Carr 2 years ago just force feed Devontae, and then years prior force feed Darren Waller. I remember one time I think Waller was targeted like 20 times in one game. You know what I mean? So I get it. Like, I love quarterbacks. That's one of the major reasons why I love Caleb Williams as well. Outside of the hero ball thing, just him spreading the football around and getting everybody involved. That has to mean something, right, Dante? Like, it has to mean something to be able to get all your teammates, because you earn all their trust. And that means they're going to go to war for you if you're getting everybody involved.
One of the most complicated offenses that I've seen was from Tulane as well on film. 12 personnel, 11 personnel, 21, 22. 2x2 sets, shotgun, pistol, like and he's efficient in all those things and finds the right receiver and all that. He's not the type of dude that's going to sit there and check it down. A lot of people, and I'm on the opposite side of this, right? Where people are like, oh, he's just a one read. Well, if the guy's open, I'm going to throw it to him. JJ McCarthy is the perfect example.
Yeah.
He's going to throw it to the open guy. It might be an elementary pass, but a lot of people scream, just throw it to the open guy. That's what you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
There's a difference between throwing to an open guy that's elementary and throwing to that post route outside the numbers backside that gets you just a little bit closer and shows team that, like, damn, we got to defend that pass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got, shit.
Yeah, it's different.
That's Michael Pratt.
Okay. Hey, Pillaging, he already said Bo Nix, brother. He said that's his top quarterback in this year's draft, so he would take him over Michael Penix. And salute to LV, man. Of the QBs this draft, who do you think will end up being a bust? Because there's a few names that you didn't mention that a lot of people love: the Drake May, the Jaden Daniels, the JJ McCarthy. You know, even some other names. You know, Spencer Rattler a few years ago would have been a first round guy. Like, okay, so if we're gonna talk about why you didn't have those guys, but who was the guy that will be a bust in this year's draft to you?
Drake May. 100%.
Okay.
110%. How I evaluate film, and I like to say I've hit on so many different quarterbacks throughout the years, and I'll tell you the one that I missed out on was Cam Newton.
Okay.
Cam Newton proved me wrong, and I started tightening my screws every single year. How many people did you know? And I'm a Jaguars
going off of Florida. Were you going off just Auburn? Both? Like, were you just going off of?
I was just going off of Auburn. I thought it was just too good to be true, and the things that he was doing.
Okay.
And not having any type of names at Auburn, none of those cats came out of Auburn, but him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is too good to be true, right? What I think about Drake May is I haven't seen the consistency that I would like to see from your quarterback. I see that from Jaden Daniels sometimes. I think he's very restricted too. We can get into that.
Okay.
But I've never been wowed by Drake May. When I get wowed every 30 throws, I'm sorry. And for people to say this is what drives me crazy about the North Carolina thing. Oh, he didn't have any weapons. John Copenhaver's going to be a top tight end coming out of next year's draft. Don't care what nobody says. Tez Walker was a super talent. He would have had about 1,500 yards if he was there at the beginning of the season. Yeah. And
Josh Downs, right? Last year.
Josh Downs last year. Yeah. And I forgot the other kid that was there. He got drafted in the 7th round last year. But then there's one weapon that people always say they wouldn't have won 6 or 7 games without Drake May. They wouldn't have won without Amarion Hampton as the running back. That's my Heisman favorite going into next year. Let me just show you the stats right here. 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns on the ground, 1 receiving touchdown. He saved Drake May's ass on so many damn plays and made him a first-round pick. I stand on that. Brother.
So is there any specific team that you could see Drake May go to and be actually productive and potentially break loose of that bust label? Is there any specific coaching staff that you think if they get their hands on them, they can turn them into something?
The Broncos.
Okay, so Sean Payton. I think there's a few guys that I think like in this draft, and that's what I think of Bo Nix. I think if Bo goes to Denver, he's gonna be a dog, bro. I just have that feeling.
What I say on that, so a lot of people don't count the pro days and combines and stuff like that as high regard. I'm the same way, but I'm not in the camp of thinking that we have to ignore those things. Like me and you were at the combine. I was there for 3 out of the 4 days, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So here's my thing. I always say games, your biggest indicator. Off-season games like the Senior Bowl, your other biggest indicator. Then the pro day, then the combine.
Okay.
Pro days to me and what I seen out of Drake May, I was pleasantly surprised.
Gotcha.
I really was. I saw NFL throws in his pro day, but did I see that on film? Like, what was his restriction? Why was he? But he kind of showed the same thing too. It was like, oh, that was a little wild of a pass. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I like about Drake May is I think that his coachability is what Sean Payton is going to want. Russell Wilson is not coachable at this point. He's won a Super Bowl.
He is who he is. Yeah.
He's been to 2 Super Bowls, lost one. That wasn't his fault, right?
Yeah.
He's a Hall of Famer, set records, winning quarterback at home, all that stuff. We know Russell Wilson's story.
Yeah.
But Drake May, what I saw in his pro day that I can't ignore, he kept throwing this backside throw, like a backside out route, like a 10-yard out, and he kept missing it. And he eventually got it. Then he tried it again, and he got even better. And then he tried it again, and he got even better.
He mastered it.
Sean Payton, master manipulator.
Yeah,
If he gets a hold of him, he might be all right. I think he will fail anywhere else, though.
Okay.
So like there's a little positive. There's always positive and negative, but he has the biggest bust potential because of that too.
Okay. So what's your problem? Let me I'm gonna read these before we get into
go ahead.
Problem with Jaden Daniels. Salute to Jason. I hate you, bro. I hate you. Okay. I'm not reading that. Salute to you on the $2 donation. My Kings are in the play-in. We're probably gonna get cooked on Tuesday. So salute to Yogi, man, my guy. Remembering all the parties at home base in the 90s. Just win, baby. Jaden Daniels to the Raiders or Vikings. Same with Penix. So I love that Yogi put this out there. So we're gonna follow up on what he's talking about. Jaden Daniels, what's your I don't want to say your issue because you just didn't have him in your top 5, but what's the pros and cons with Jaden Daniels at the next level?
I would say Jaden Daniels would probably be at 6 on my list. I have a really love-hate relationship with him, right? Mm-hmm. I really do. Because I was a fan of him at Arizona State when nobody was talking about it. Like, my boy Don will tell you. Like, I even got an Arizona State hat somewhere. We were such big fans of him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce and Herm Edwards got there where he was like, they might be all right. And Jaden Daniels is that guy because he was really good in high school. I watched a lot of his high school films.
San Bernardino boy. Yep.
And then he had the troubles. Then he went to LSU. Then they got Brian Kelly. Then he became a Heisman winner.
Yeah.
This is why I have a love-hate relationship with him. He's a great athlete. And when he won the Heisman, I was all about Bo Nix winning. I was like, dude was the best quarterback in the country. The Heisman is for the best player in the country. Jaden Daniels won because he was the best athlete and player in the country, and he meant the most to his team.
Okay.
Absolutely, bar none. Had no problem with it. I wasn't upset. I was upset for Bo, but I wasn't upset at the outcome, right?
Okay.
Does that necessarily going to translate over to the NFL?
Okay.
The biggest problem that I have with Jaden Daniels is inconsistency with him too, but he's not as inconsistent as Drake May. Between 5 and 15 yards.
Everybody says the same thing, that he doesn't attack. Well, they say that, and that he doesn't attack the middle of the field. They say that he's kind of like a one-dimensional.
That's kind of, I see what people are saying with that, but like,
I didn't see it.
That's where Malik Neighbors had most of his production was over there.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't see it personally, but there was a lot of flack that he was catching because him not throwing in the middle of the football field. And so on and so forth. So I didn't see it. Watching the tape and I even went to go watch highlights, not just the tape. I was like, let me go to YouTube and see if there's anywhere where he's just staying away from the middle of the football field. And like you said, one of the best wide receivers, that was his bread and butter. You know what I mean? So I don't really get where that came from.
Yeah, I don't see that either. I just think if I'm watching a route tree of what he was throwing in the middle of the field, you're going to get a lot of skinny comebacks, things like that over the field that like are just standard in the NFL to get you warmed up and get you down the field. He was more like Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas over the top. Boom.
Yeah,
it worked, but then the other side of that is he's very quick in his decision making as far as like I'ma just run it, and that's what I don't like. I get like he's taking big hits, whatever. That's a downside. He beefed up. We saw it at the combine. He's put on some more weight, whatever. But I'm more concerned of like, dude, just give yourself a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Because he had one of the cleanest pockets in college.
I'm actually happy you said that because that's the one reason I'm afraid to get him outside of the hits. The freedom that he would have with Antonio Pierce as his head coach because of their history. I think it would scare the shit out of me to see him, to Antonio Pierce and Luke Getsy's experience together because it may be more like a Justin Fields type shit. Just let him play his game.
In my video, I had Jaden Daniels going to you guys just because of that.
See, and there you go.
I can't ignore that, right? And he's been screaming to the heavens for that about Jaden Daniels. We've seen the subliminal messages and things like that. And it just makes sense. But Antonio Pierce has got to get in his head that you can't just run when you want to. We got you. We got to get you to scan the field. And Devontae is going to be there. Yeah. But if you got Sauce Gardner within 5 yards of covering him, you got to give him time to let him work. He's eventually going to win.
Yeah.
But will you allow him the time to get there? Trust your pocket. I just think like as soon as that coin flip comes, in his brain, and it's like, all right, it's either heads or tails. Okay, I'm going. He's making a decision of what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Athlete, not quarterback.
Okay.
That's what I think about him.
Who's his NFL comp? And it'd be easy to do the Lamar Jackson or, so on and so forth. Is it Lamar? If you had to go, pro comp, I mean, we know that they, all the rushing yards, all the accomplishments that he throwing the football and all that. I mean, who was the guy that you would definitely look at him? It could be a guy from the past as well. It doesn't have to be right now, but just a pro comp.
I got the perfect one for you, and I was a big fan of this guy, but I had to understand that he was like this too. And I'm still a big fan of him. I think he could turn it around. Drew Lock.
Wow.
Jaden Daniels reminds me so much of Drew Lock when he was at Missouri and playing for the Broncos.
Oh, okay. I can see at Missouri. Definitely.
But it was like, if you watch Drew Lock with the Broncos, you knew he had a gun and he could get it down the field. But it was do or die. I'm making a snap decision to throw it right now, even though my backside read is not there.
Yeah.
Interception to the house.
I have to say this real quick. Salute to the chat. I love what you do because you say whatever the hell you feel. Because I never heard that. Like that was one, like a Drew. Wow. Because looking at some of his, again, like I said, watching him at Missouri, not too much at the NFL level because I didn't really in Denver. He didn't really. They had a bad O-line over there, bro. Like they had a bad O-line his whole time, and then we haven't really seen him what he can do in Seattle. That's an interesting one, man. Wow.
I love what Raider Nomad said. Watch Lock live. Love his mechanics.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with Jaden Daniels. I like his mechanics too, but again, like me and Graphk were saying, when that coin flips, he's making a decision, and it might not be the smartest. And it's either I got to be an athlete or I'm going to make the wrong throw.
So do you think that processing is going to be an issue at the next level for Jaden Daniels? It's just going to be just a bing?
It's either Antonio Brown or Antonio Pierce is going to get in his brain that, like, you got to be patient, or he's got to get a good quarterback coach that's going to help him with his process. And I would love and I'm a big Jordan Palmer fan. His track record speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And I'll give it, Joe Milton is my underrated fly under the radar guy.
You've been saying that, and we were at the combine, and his arm, it was like some all-star game shit. Like he was out there, bruh. It's actually unbelievable the way he throws the football.
He's working with Jordan Palmer right now, and he was
that may save him because what is his knock? The accuracy issues. It's just like, you can throw this shit all over the place, but can you get it to your receivers? I mean,
it's funny that we're talking about him because if you go to my channel, there's a video that I said about Joe Milton's first drive, the very first drive of the game against Alabama. It was chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I was like, this is an NFL quarterback. It was magnificent. Like, I usually don't use these type of words, but I had to throw it out there.
I love it.
It was a magnificent drive. I saw nothing but pro quarterback, but then halfway through the game, I don't know what it was. It's just scrambled eggs in his brain. I don't know what happened.
So, damn, man, because I've struggled with trying to think of a team that would fit with him. Like, I think regardless, Milton's going to have to sit. He'll be a developmental project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I thought about Baltimore, but I was like, for what? Lamar's the guy. I thought maybe, Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin, big arm guy, he's a big dude, maybe like the Big Ben 2.0 type situation out there. I don't really know where he can fit, bro. Like where can Milton be the guy?
This is not going to be popular, but if the Bills take the Packers approach,
okay,
because he's so much alike, like Josh
Allen. We talked about that the other day. I think the Bills, you onto something, bro.
It's to me, it's just there's so much alike because Josh Allen had the same deficiencies, except he played at a smaller school.
Yep.
And I was a big fan of Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming. I was like, hold up, all that stuff can be fixed. Accuracy is the one thing that can be fixed.
Yeah.
I can't fix your underthrows.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you got it or you don't. I'd rather you overthrow me all day long.
Yeah.
If he goes there, because I think eventually the Bills are going to ship him off somewhere else, and they're going to let bygones be bygones, and he's going to be great somewhere, unless they win a Super Bowl and he's just a Bill for life. But we've also seen quarterbacks that develop somewhere and then go off somewhere else and become the starter, and they never let that certain position go. Joe Milton could be the next best thing in the next 5 years if he decided to take that route. or if they, if the Bills draft him, because he's the next best person that can fill in exactly what Josh Allen is. He can emulate that same arm strength. He can emulate and he's the most underrated runner in this draft as far as quarterback. He's super athletic and he's fast.
And I don't think he'll turn the ball over as much as Josh Allen either.
No, he's dude. And that first drive against Alabama, grown man stuff. He dropped his nuts. They needed a first down. It was like 3rd and 9. And he ran a bootleg. He looked downfield. He was like, nope, I'm taking this one-on-one matchup. I think it was him and Terrion Arnold. And he shoulder checked the shit out of Terrion Arnold and got a first down. I was like, all right, drop your nuts. I see I
like that. Salute to the chat, you guys. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, go subscribe to our brother, East Coast GridIron, on YouTube. Once again, I'm going to put it in the chat. You guys, make sure you go support our brother, man. He's doing great work over there. So we're going to do something different with the mock draft. I'm not going to do the whole bringing up the mock and all that. I'm going to pick a position in each round. Are you cool with that? Are you comfortable with me saying?
I'm cool with that.
And I'm going to say, whoever you think is going to be available there, we're going to go that route, okay? We'll do maybe tops 2 drafts because I may want to approach it a little differently, okay? But I'm going to do something. I'm going to go the route I think that we're going to go in terms of this draft. So round 1 at 13, okay? Right tackle. We need a tackle. Who are you going with at 13 that may be available? Give me a tackle available 13.
Right tackle. First one I'd get impressed by is J.C. Latham.
Okay.
Right away. I'm getting into offensive lineman heavy next week, but I think I've watched about 4 different Alabama games so far, or 4 different players from Alabama so far, and I watched Jermaine Burton heavy.
Yes,
we can talk about Jermaine Burton.
I already know, bro.
He's him.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog.
But J.C. Latham is absolutely outstanding, man. And nothing gets past him. He's strong as hell, and I think he probably has the strongest anchor at right tackle in this year's draft.
And look, if at 13, he's my second favorite option behind Fuaga. So, I like JT. I think J.C. Latham. The Raiders. We have this problem with not being able to shake the stigma of former players. Alex Leatherwood was terrible for us, ended up being a bust, and we're afraid to go get another right tackle out of Alabama. I think J.C. Latham is not going to be far. I think be far from that. He could potentially be an all-pro talent down the line. I love that pick. Okay, so
yeah, I give you one more because I think he's such a unicorn, man. That I think you can plug him anywhere. Seriously, anywhere. Say if you need a center, guard, tackle, he can play them all very well. You can just watch the film. I think he only gave up 3 sacks in his career.
Okay.
Graham Barton could fill in at right tackle if you need him to. Ooh. He's the best. To me, he's the best offensive lineman in his class.
Okay. Young pup out of Duke, huh?
Yep.
Okay. I like that. So there's 2 options right there. And I think Barton's gone in the first. I don't think that he passes the Niners.
He's sneaking up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
If you want a successor to Trent Williams, it's Graham Barton. And it's not close.
I like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So second round. We're picking at 44. So we took a right tackle. All right. I'm going to stay away from quarterback here. I'm going to go keep it in the trenches on the offensive side of the football. We need a guard. Who do you think is going to be available at 44 to play right guard? There's some tackles that are going to be coming into the league. They're going to be transitioning to guard. You know what I mean? And some guys in the chat may say, well, he's a tackle. A lot of these guys end up getting moved at the next level. Who do you think would be available? There's the Cooper Beebes of the world. There's the Christian Haynes of the world out of Connecticut. There's a slew of players that you could potentially take at guard in the second round. Who do you get right there to be your right guard of the future?
It's Christian Haynes.
Love it.
Connecticut.
Love it.
He, to me, probably the second guy that comes in place is Mason McCormick. I know people love Christian Mahogany too.
Oh, yeah, Boston College. But McCormick out of South Dakota is a dog.
When we saw Christian Haynes at the Senior Bowl,
yeah, he killed it.
All 3 days of practice. And he's a great teammate. The one thing about Christian Haynes that I like, and these are things that you don't see unless you're at things like that or watching, behind the scene practice film. Always with the offensive line coach asking them, what can I do better? What happened here? This guy, can I switch to left guard and see if I can, practice over there a little bit to get my hands working? Because you're going to see different things, regardless if you're on the left or the right.
Yeah.
but I like the fact that he's so coachable and always had a smile on his face too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just stuff that I personally like that I see.
Yeah. Bro, he killed this Senior Bowl. All my people that were there present, I kept asking who was hot. His name kept popping up left and right. Him and Braden Fisk out of Florida State, the defensive tackle. There was the same names kept popping up over and over and over that they killed the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, but Christian Haynes probably has the best handwork in the draft, though. He's super violent. I mean,
I love it.
He doesn't let you get around him, and he hates it. I mean, if you want a guy that's just anchoring the whole way, you look at a turnstile. Imagine if you didn't put that WD-40 on that turnstile, it ain't turning. That's him.
But could you imagine a right side though? But with J.C. Latham and Christian Haynes, that's one of the best right sides for the next 10 years. That's phenomenal. I love this.
I don't even think it's close, man. I think he's the best.
Okay. I like that. Okay. We got J.C. Latham in the first. We got Christian Haynes out of Connecticut in the second. Round 3, number 77. We need a corner, man. We didn't go corner in the first round. We missed out on the Quinyon Mitchells. We missed out on the Terrion Arnolds and the Kool-Aid McKinstries and all these guys, the Nate Wiggins. We need a corner here at 77 in round 3. Who is going to be available on your board in the third round, and where the Raiders need to go?
I like this pick for you guys. And he's been one of my favorites for the last 2 years. Okay. Chris Abrams-Drain out of Missouri.
Okay.
I think he's worth the third round pick. A lot of people have him in the 4th and 5th. I think he's better than Enos Rakestraw. Mm-hmm. He's been better. The thing about him, people don't like his size, just like Nate Wiggins. Yeah. But he's fast, uses his hands very well, can able to disguise his hands. And I think he had the most pass breakups last year and the second most interceptions in college football.
I believe so.
But his tape is so fun to watch because he could play inside, he could play outside. You've seen him line up in the box in the safety
and
position.
Patrick Graham loves versatility out of his corners.
And he's got all that. Enos Rakestraw is your true outside corner that's going to get physical and draw a bunch of penalties. I'm not a big fan of his. To me, he's like a 6th round pick. I roll my eyes every time people talk about Enos Rakestraw. I'm like, oh God, because Chris Abrams-Drain has just been getting disrespected, man. He's a sure bet to be good. And I bet you if we talk 2 years later, Chris Abrams-Drain is going to be the next Jair Alexander because that's his comp to me.
Ooh, so we get a steal in the third round. Okay.
Yes. If you want to, okay. So that's let me be realistic. That's just a Dante throw a little golden nugget at you.
Okay.
If Max Melton is there,
take him. Rutgers.
Take him.
Okay.
He is a 2nd round pick that you can pick up in the 3rd round. The dude is excellent. He's so good.
What's your thoughts on Cam Hart and Kyrie Jackson? Two of my favorite corners in this draft.
I got to interview Cam Hart. Incredibly huge human being, incredibly smart up top. Senior Bowl, loved him. I mean, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Until, again, it's kind of hard to watch every single game in college.
There's too much going on, bro. It's too much.
Everybody loves Ricky Pearsall, right?
Ricky Pearsall.
Cam Hart was his daddy for 3 days.
Talk!
Yep. He was his daddy for 3 days.
I love it.
It's kind of like a personal favorite of mine. I think if he gets if Sauce Gardner was a start of camp and Jalen Ramsey, let's say if they started a camp together, if you mesh both of them together, that is Cam Hart's ceiling to me. And I'm not even joking. Cam Hart is that dude. He just, and from watching Notre Dame, he didn't play that many reps. So that's where he's at.
Well, just because you said that, where do you have Pearsall going? I want to ask you because I've seen him all over the place.
It's not the fact of where he's gonna go; it's the fact of who's he's gonna go to, and that's the scary thought.
Okay.
There's 2 teams in mind because I think he could be one of those. You know how people have Ladd McConkey going in the 1st round for a lot of teams.
Yes.
If you let this dude Ricky Pearsall go to the Ravens.
Ooh,
it's not going to be good.
He's like 6'1.5", somewhere like that.
Yeah, he's 6'1", I believe.
Okay, right.
But he is probably the best blocking wide receiver in this class too.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, outside, he's a little swaggy and everything too.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he's known for. I mean, production as well, but he has that white boy swag. You know what I mean? That's kind of what they look at him as.
If you wanted a Hollywood Brown that could block and actually play his position wherever he's needed, man, that's Ricky Pearsall all day. And Lamar Jackson already knows what Hollywood Brown was about. And he already had him as a 1,000-yard receiver. So let's not act like Lamar Jackson can't throw it down the field.
Hey, give Anthony Richardson Ricky Pearsall. How about that? Send him to Indianapolis.
I'm not the biggest Anthony.
I'm not either. I'm just saying, gator to gator love, But
that was one of the questions that my boy Soars in the chat. He's part of ECG, and that's his guy. He's a Florida fan, and he interviewed him. And one of the questions that he asked, and Ricky gave the perfect answer. He had asked him, "You are one of the wide receivers that can get used to any quarterback. You went from Arizona State to having 2 different quarterbacks in Florida." And you performed everywhere you went. How'd you get it done?
I love it.
And he said, one of my biggest strengths is being able to adapt. And that's scary. How many wide receivers can you say that did that?
Hey, that's real. Hey, real quick, man. Salute to Top, brother. My big bro, I appreciate you, man. Salute to all the new members. Salute to Hug. My guys, man, the moderators, man, my mod fathers in the building, man. Jason, love you, bros, man. Appreciate you guys. I don't know what y'all. Hey, if you guys ever start a channel, get you a Hug D's, get you a Top Beats, get you a Jason Hunter, get you a LV Maximus. Salute to my guys, man, my moderators. I love y'all, man. Appreciate you, brothers. Okay, so right now we're in where are we at right now? We got first round, you took JC Latham. Round 2, we took Christian Haynes out of Connecticut.
Yep.
Round 3, we took a corner. Now, we took
we're gonna take Max Melton. We'll take Max.
Okay, we'll go Max Melton in the 3rd round. Okay, cool. And then round 4. Okay, this is where we got to get a little spicy because we don't have a quarterback, right? I mean, Jordan Travis may be available with the injury. Florida State, your young pup out of Tulane. Pratt may be available in here. I'm going to go quarterback in the 4th round at 112 because at this point, we need one. We have Aiden, we have Gardner Minshew, and we have Anthony Brown on the practice squad. Where are you going right here in terms of round 4? Who's available, and who do you think would be a fit for us right here at 112?
Oh, man, because I think Spencer Rattler is going early. The only ones that I think are going to beat are probably Michael Pratt and Joe Milton. But I think from what I've seen in Michael Pratt makes me very intrigued for him to sit behind somebody for 1 or 2 years, and he might be a dog for the rest of his career. So I'm going to say with the upside of Michael Pratt, but Joe Milton intrigues me too, but I'm going to say Michael Pratt, man. I think he's just the skill set that he has is just screams NFL quarterback. He ran the most complex offense that I've seen. He can spread the ball around, and if he wanted to make a number 1 receiver happy and Devontae Adams, he's gonna get the ball to him, and he's gonna win. He's gonna win a lot of games.
I like that. What do you think about Spencer Rattler? There is he available in the 4th?
I think he's going in the 2nd.
Me too, bro. I've been said that. We're on the same page. I think he's gonna be gone before a lot of people assume. I think he's gonna be gone.
People need to get that high school video out of their brain because a lot of people think he still has character issues. He took every interview that he could the last several times that I've seen him.
Killed him. Every one of them.
Killed him. And the fact that he came back to South Carolina after entering the transfer portal and said, I want Xavier Legette to be a top guy. He was my main reason why I came back.
And look, and guess what? He's a top guy in this draft.
Nobody's going back to Shane Beamer after he did what he did. Let's be honest. But Spencer Rattler wanted to bring his guys with him. And he accomplished that mission. I mean, he could have went somewhere else and won. I mean, let's just say he would have went to Ohio State. They would probably won a national championship. I truly believe that.
I love it. Okay, so we got our tackle of the future in JC Latham. We got Christian Haynes in round 2 out of Connecticut. We have our future guard. We have our corner out of Rutgers in round 3. Round 4, we went and got Pratt. I already know my guy, East Coast GridIron loves him. I'm here for it if that's the pick here. Round 5, 148. We need a linebacker. Or I'm gonna let you kind of pick. No, you know what? No. We're gonna keep it simple. Linebacker here at 5. What do you do? 148.
Linebacker at 5. One of my favorites, and I think he might go a little later, but Nathaniel Watson out of Mississippi State.
I like that. That's a name that
he's in my top 5 linebackers. I don't know why he's dropping so far.
Okay,
I have no idea.
Okay.
Nathaniel Watson is an absolute dog. had a great Senior Bowl. You know, his measurables are really good. And he's probably in pads the fastest linebacker out. And I have this infatuation with Adrian Cooper. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think that dude's generational. I think he's Patrick Willis but smaller. I really do.
I damn near agree with you.
But he's more versatile. Like he's not. Dude played 3 technique, edge, middle linebacker, outside linebacker. He lined up at corner 10 times last year and was shutting stuff down. But Nathaniel Watson is a true linebacker, sideline to sideline, can get you anything that you want, and he's quick. Yeah. I love his tenacity, and I've seen it time and time again in the Senior Bowl too. That dude is going to work you until you quit.
Yeah, he's a back artist too. 6'2", 10 sacks last season, 2 forced fumbles, 1 pick. Year previously, he had 6 sacks. Year previously, 5 sacks. I mean, the guy can get to the quarterback, bro.
Yeah, I'll give you a 2 point on. I see his name in the chat. This is a personal favorite of mine. He's in my top 5 too. Tyron Hopper out of Mizzou as well.
Okay.
Transferred over from Florida 2 years ago. Been nothing but a producer for Missouri. I don't think he's going to be there. That's why I went with, Nathaniel Watson. But if Tyron Hopper's there, you absolutely go get him over Nathaniel Watson. I think he's a complete package.
I like that, but that is a steal. So you think that Watson's going to fall to the 5th? You think so?
I think so. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up.
Okay. So we got our linebacker of the future right there in the 5th round. Round 6. Okay. At this point, we got 2 in the 7. We have 1 in the 6. And this is kind of where you get, just – you're looking for potential here. You're looking for players you can develop, right? Right here at 6. The next 2, I already have my positions in my head. But round 6, we need another running back. We don't know. Zeus had a great 3-4 games, streak at the end of the season where he looked like he was our guy of the future. We went and got Madison to be our, running back 2. We re-signed Amir Abdullah to be our 3rd down back. But we need a guy realistically. I know Madison can catch the football out of the backfield. Zeus can do it here and there, but I feel like we need more of a playmaker at the running back position, me personally, in the 6th round. Is there a guy that you're looking at that you're like, man, it could be a small school kid like the kid out of New Hampshire? You know what I mean? Like there's some guys that will potentially be available here. Who do you think would be the running back for you in the 6th round?
Jawar Jordan.
Oh, so you're going Louisville.
I like him better than Isaac Garendo. I always have.
Okay.
That kid, he's in my top 5 too. Jawar Jordan, I believe, where's he sitting at in my top 5? He's right there, number 4.
Okay. I'm not against that. I love the kid. I mean, Jalen Wright's he's not going to be available there. He'll be gone. Marshawn Lloyd may be available in the 6th. I think he goes before. I think that you're on to something right here in the 6th round. I think he will be available. I think he'd be a steal at that point.
Yeah. He is one of the best running backs last year that nobody mentioned. He just had a couple injury issues here and there. He gets and he's a small guy, but he gets even smaller between, like, he's an A-gap thruster. That's why I always call him Pauls.
No, nasty word. Hey, talk your shit, King.
Yeah, I call him the A-gap thruster for what I've seen. Like, if you need a play to be made, and then probably like people talk about that second gear. I'm gonna tell you about I can't stand that Jonathan Brooks is like the number 1 running back. I can't stand that kid. I mean, not personally. I mean, he's probably but as far as a player, I can't stand him. I don't know why he's rated so high. Jawar Jordan's second motor, if he gets in an open space, he's gone. Okay. I mean, I think he's a home run hit. He might be your future starter if he gets a little bigger.
I love some other names, but I love if we went that route, I would love it. The Tyrone Tracy's of the world, the Tracy's of the world, Purdue kid, converted wide receiver can be an option. A lot of us, we love George Halani because one of our boys, Rube, is like a huge guy for him. Dylan Johnson out of Washington. There's some interesting in Carson Steele. He visited with the Raiders. There's a connection there because of the UCLA thing. So some interesting names, but I love the route you went. Okay. So right here in round 7, 223, and we have 229 back-to-back picks that we got from New England and 1 from Minnesota. You can do whatever you want here with wide receiver and edge rusher. Either way, all right? It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. But we got to find a steal, a hidden gem in the 7th round, wide receiver-wise. Probably a guy like Anthony Gold that can give you some special teams looks. And an edge rusher that you could potentially sit, get a few reps in or sit on the practice squad for a year and develop them. But anywhere you want to go at 223, 229, wide receiver, edge rusher. You can pick either way. You want to go?
Let's go edge rusher because I feel like we're dwindling down there. There's so many wide receivers. So let's dig into that pot before we start.
Okay.
Not seeing anybody there, right? Cedric Johnson out of Ole Miss.
Love it.
I haven't got to watch a ton of him, and I'm very intrigued by him from what I've seen. And his combine was super underrated. I don't know why people are not talking about him more.
Okay.
But I think because of his skill set and how athletic that he can be probably a dog at the next level. So I'm just speaking as like I've seen a little bit and I'm intrigued and I think he's got the skill set. But you're talking about a guy that can go to the practice squad and can develop. Picture of Cedric Johnson from Ole Miss.
I could tell you at the combine where we were sitting, I heard a few scouts talking about him. Let's just say that he did look good out there, and his name was mentioned a few times. I'm not going to act as though they were like, we need him, but they were like, okay, intriguing. Kind of the same verbiage that you're using in the sense, like there may be something there. So I love that. And I see a lot of people, Xavier Weaver, Colorado. I think he had a pretty good season this past year. Didn't he have like 700, 800 yards or somewhere? I could be off, but interesting.
Yeah, Xavier Weaver was really good. Yeah, I don't think he got the love that he probably actually deserved to have.
Yeah,
to be completely honest. Let me ask you a reverse question because we're
right? Yeah, he was closer to 1,000. Well, go ahead, brother.
Do you guys want a slot guy or an outside guy?
So that's interesting, right? Because we have Trey Tucker. He'll play in the slot whenever he's out there. You can kick him outside as well. You mentioned it earlier. Devontae can eat out of the slot. We have Jacoby Myers, a guy that plays inside and out. His bread and butter was in the slot in New England. Now he's our outside guy. So realistically, I'd probably say slot because we have to. Hunter Renfrow moved on, right? That was our slot guy these past 4 seasons or whatever. So I'd probably say slot. I'd probably say that because Jacoby's been really good for us as an outside number 2 wide receiver. We're going to move these guys around. You know how it goes. But
yeah, I'm going to give you an underrated name. And I just think with what I've seen from him out of Oregon State, and
Anthony Gold.
Yes, absolutely. Anthony Gold, I think would be a scary pick for you guys, and he would make Hunter Renfrow step aside real quick.
Hunter's gone. We just cut him. So
you just cut him? Okay.
Yeah, he's a free agent. So we need someone to. But I think Anthony Gold would be great. I don't think he would get a ton of reps on the offense side of the football, but I think that he could be an all-pro special teams guy. With the rule change, I think he can come in and return some kicks at a high clip. He did it at Oregon State. He was a dog. So
yeah, but his hands are some of the best in this class too.
Okay. See, now I'm gonna be honest. I watched more of his special team stuff. I didn't really get a chance to really break down any film on him on the offensive side of the football. Most of the stuff that I seen from him was more splash plays and it was more special team stuff. So I'm not going to act like I really broke him down.
I would say this, Graph. I mean, that's how Oregon State kind of was. They're a really ticky-tacky team. I'm a big DJ Uiagalelei fan. I mean, he's at Florida State. He's with my team now, but I'm a big Silas Bolden fan too, and he just transferred to Texas from there.
Yeah.
And I really want him to come to Florida State because I think he's going to be the next best thing. But him and Anthony Gold were just they caught everything under the sun. Like Anthony Gold, I believe, was number 5 or 6 in the country on first down conversions that were thrown to him on third down or something like that. Yeah, he was a sure bet.
Okay, I got to do more homework then. Okay.
Yeah, he's really good. I don't think he's getting the love that he actually probably deserves, but he's going to be there.
Edge
it's not, Joshua Stephens from UTSA.
Oh, I would love that too. That's another name that we've talked a lot about over here. I would love that. 7th, edge rusher. A guy that at this point, probably a guy that either his measurables are there and his technique isn't, or he's more of a smaller guy, but he has the production. You know what I mean? Like a Muhammad Kamara. He's not going to be there though. And I don't think he'd be there in 7.
I think somebody's going to reach hard on Muhammad Kamara.
I think he's going to be this year's Malcolm Kuntz. Like he'll be a guy that I had Malcolm Kuntz as a Raider in the 6th round, and he ended up going in the 3rd. And mind you, he's a starter for us now, playing really great. But I have him being like that kind of guy. But is there any edge rusher like a Gabriel Murphy, right, out of UCLA may be available there? You know what I mean? Or somebody, is there any edge rusher that you have specifically pinned in like he could be a late round gem?
Yes. I believe he played at Texas a couple years and then he transferred to Houston. David Ogwogbu from Houston.
Okay. I got to do my homework on the kid. I don't even know.
Yeah, I believe he played at Texas a couple years. If I'm thinking about
it's funny because we already have one with that name. He's the international portal from. He came over from Nigeria. We have an edge rusher by that name that came over in the international portal, and he's a defensive end. That's funny that you said that.
Yeah, he's got a great skill set that you could use for your team for sure. No, I'm sorry. He played at Oklahoma. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
I know it was one of those teams that played in the Red River rivalry. And he played at Oklahoma. So he played, I believe he played there for 4 years, if I remember right. But I mean, he put up sacks while he was there.
Oh, David Agoa. That's the guy. That's the guy. David Agoa. Yeah.
David Agoa. Okay.
Is how you say his name.
Yeah. But he's been in college a long time. There's no mystery there. But he's not, I would say he can be developed into something because he's more of a tackling edge and can seal the edge for you on run plays. Okay. But he's got a very high motor too. So you can use him there. But I think he's like one of those late round guys that maybe able to make a splash. But the only thing that you're going to question about him is durability. He's been in college for like 6 years. So
got you. Now I got 2 more for you. Okay. UDFAs, some guys that you may think may not get drafted, but there's 2 positions we didn't talk about. There's safety, there's tight end. Is there any names that you can think of that maybe they went to smaller schools, the production is there, they just didn't get a lot of looks. Yeah. We can go get another safety. We didn't approach that. All of our safeties, pretty much both our starting safeties are on their last years of their deal. Merrick and Marcus Epps. We have 2 young guys in Palamau that he'll be there for the next year. We just drafted Chris Smith out of Georgia a year ago. He hasn't really got any reps yet, but we need a safety as a UDFA. Okay. And we need to get that tight end. Is there any names that you can think of in terms of looking at there? Because Tom Telesco has done some things in the UDFA world before. He found Austin Eckler. I mean, shit, he was a great running back for them for years. So is there some hidden gems that you think could be there as UDFAs?
Yeah. Another guy from Oregon State that I really liked. And I want to say he's probably the most underrated when covering the tight end. To be honest with you, and he plays really big for his size. Yeah, Keaton Aladapo. I always screw up his name. Keaton Aladapo is an underrated guy. Good size to him, can cover the tight end. So if you need somebody that's like that, I would go him. But if you want to go on the other side of that, if you want to just a good all around guy that can play in the box, I'll tell you, when we watched the Texas Kansas game, Kenny Logan Jr. from Kansas is really good too. So. But I think they're going to go undrafted. I think they are. And you talked about tight end, right?
Yeah.
Interviewed this guy. I've been a huge fan of his, man. And I think like he can turn the team around if he gets to the right spot. Isaac Rex from BYU.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I think he definitely will go undrafted, but that's a sneaky name.
Yeah, it's because of the fact that he was injured 2 years ago. He had that ankle injury, and then the quarterbacks that he played with. I mean, playing with Zach Wilson and the kid up in with the Vikings right now, Jaron Hall. Yeah, Jaron Hall. And now you had Keaton Slovis came over.
And they've had some pretty dark times since the Steve Young days.
and when I did the interview, shout out to the brother, but he was talking them up. I mean, the best one that I thought was out of the bunch was definitely Jaron Hall. I was a big fan of him, but Isaac Rex is a dog, true receiving tight end, but underrated blocker too.
Okay.
I just worry about his durability still. But
have you watched any tape on Wiley yet, Dante, out of TCU?
I like Jared Wiley, but I do think he's going to get picked up in like the 5th or 6th round.
I do too. But I think he's like probably top 3 like best blocking tight ends in this league, and that's going to be in this draft. And the production is kind of kind of underwhelming, but I think in the right system, I think he could be something. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you a funny story about Jared Wiley. So we was at the Senior Bowl down on the field, and we had interviewed him too. These dudes at TCU sent them the wrong size cleats. Oh. He played for 3 days with a cleat that was 2 sizes too small for his foot. Back of his ankle was bleeding. He played the whole practice with it. I'm like, dude, why's your socks so bloody? He was like, dude, they sent me the wrong cleats.
That's fucking hilarious.
But I mean, if you want a dude that's gonna go through adversity, I mean, it's something small, but he was like, I'm here to get this work in. Regardless if I got to wear 2 sizes too small, I'm out here.
That's hilarious. Now I want to ask you this because I haven't done my homework yet. I usually wait till mid-season to kind of really dive into the next following year. I know you love college football. And salute to Hug D's, my brother. Appreciate you. Salute to all the new members in the building because of one of the Mod Fathers. Salute to my guy. If we don't get our guy this year, a lot of people are, because of how deep this quarterback class is, people are kind of assuming that next year's quarterback class is underwhelming, right? Is there any guys that, and I don't look, there's some guys. Give me three names that you think would be first round guys that if we miss out this year, that we should get our hands on next year.
My first name that I'm going to go to, and I've been saying this state has been producing nothing but dogs, and they never get mentioned. I don't know why they don't have a bigger pipeline pause in the country. The state of Hawaii has been going nuts, and there's a guy named Dylan Gabriel that plays like a 6'6" quarterback. He's out at Oregon, went from UCF, produced, went to Oklahoma, produced, and now he's under Dan Lannon out there at Oregon. It's like Bo Nix 2.0. Okay. They're going to be good again. I think he's the first name that needs to be mentioned on everybody's board. Let me give you a underrated one. Will Howard up at Ohio State.
Okay.
Played at Kansas State. I think if they win the national championship, like I think they will, he's like what was homie at TCU a couple years ago.
Duggan.
Yeah,
Max Duggan.
He's a better Max Duggan. Got a better arm, more accurate, very explosive on the run. He's a big guy and has a huge arm. Okay. And he makes all the throws. I mean, we saw it in the game against Texas last year. They lost that game because of poor production from their offensive line. He was carving them up. Yeah. But he's up at Ohio State, and I don't know why Ryan Day is saying that it's a quarterback competition with him and Devin Brown. It makes me roll my eyes every single time he says that. But Will Howard's going to be the guy, and he's going to carve people up. So that's the underrated one, but I think he's one of those Drake May-ish guys that's going to sneak into round one, but I think he's going to be deserving of it. Let's see. Number 3.
So no Shedeur Sanders on the list.
I'm not a fan of Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, okay.
I have my problems with Shedeur Sanders.
I want you to hold on to that one because the chat, they liking this. We need to do more of these. So we're going to save that conversation. I just want to hear that third one.
The third one, and I believe his eligibility is next year. If not, then I'll give you another one. Noah Fafita from Arizona.
Okay.
Is my favorite quarterback in college.
Okay. Ooh, I like that.
I was screaming his name to the highest of heights.
Have you done a breakdown on him yet?
No, but I talked about him a bunch last year, so I do have a couple videos on him. But
send me a few so I can check out if possible.
Yeah. He also has a dog and a receiver that came back. And Jed Fish he was their head coach, and I love Jed Fish, but he went to Washington to fill in for Kalen DeBoer, and he's going to be excellent up there too. He's going to make them a national championship team again.
Okay.
But Noah Fafita had one of his best receivers last year in Totoro McMillan that stayed, and he's if you haven't watched him either, absolute demon. Him and Jacob Cowan were amazing out there. Okay. But Noah Fafita is like, he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback at the next level. I don't throw that around there, but the kid has no weakness.
I love this, bro, because you took me to church today. Because there's a few names that I haven't heard yet that I'm like, wow. Yeah. So I got some homework. Real quick, man. Salute to Top Beats. My brother, man. Thank you so much, man.
Dropping the 20 bomb. Okay.
Yeah, my brother, man. I appreciate you so much. I told you, man, these guys are the greatest. Like in a minute, everybody's gonna be a damn member. Salute to my brother, Top Beats. My brother, appreciate you. Love you, King. Salute to my brother, Jason Hunter. Got to get to bed, fellas. 5 a.m. is an early, great show. ECG, nothing but respect for you, bro. Can't wait to check out your channel. Blessings for the chat. And my fathers, we form like Voltron. I want to save some stuff because, like I said, especially after the draft. Would you mind coming back on the show, brother? And you know what I mean? Like, I would love to have you back on and make this a thing because I love talking about the draft and even leading up to next year. Because, like I said, I haven't done my homework yet. I want to really dive into some of these names and bro, like the way you know some things I don't know. And
dude, I'll give you one more name and I'll tell you why my thought process.
Let's go. Come on.
Jalen Daniels from Kansas might be the dark horse Heisman favorite if he can stay healthy. Kid is so good at quarterback, but he can't stay healthy. So that's my other name to watch out for.
I love it.
But yeah, bro, anytime, hit me up. I love talking about this stuff. You see how giddy I get, man.
Hey man, bro, this is our passion. You know what I mean? So it's and I want to say thank you, man, for playing a part in, you know, doing the draft with the Raiders, because, you know, this is a Raiders channel. We love our team so much. And, you know, we feel sorry for you. You know, you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, man. So you have a home away from home over here with us, brother. Like anytime,
I appreciate it.
Anytime you're ready to convert, man, you just let us know. We'll get you right. Hey, I got enough gear to donate forever. You know what I'm saying? So
I might be hitting the transfer portal if they extend Trevor on this crazy content. I already got my name. It's almost there. I'm just ready to press enter.
Hey, real quick, man, if you guys can, last time I checked, my brother was like, I think 3,300 subscribers. You guys, tonight, man, let's get it up to 4K. Go over there, hit that subscribe button. I'm telling y'all now, my dog does great film breakdown with him and his guys. Because look, he's not the only one. Dante's not he has a team of guys just like Shilmore that break down this stuff. Make sure you go support one of our own. Brother, you gonna be at the draft?
I'm not. I thought I was gonna be, but I'm actually not. So I just got this big promotion at my job and stuff like that.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, man. It's demanding a little bit out of me, but yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it. But next year, Wisconsin, we're there.
There we go. Sure. Well, I'm pulling up definitely, man. Once again, salute to my brother Dante at East Coast GridIron. Let everybody know real quick one more time and where to follow you at. Plug everything you got going on, brother.
I always tell people, the brand says itself. If you go to Google and just type up East Coast GridIron, there's nobody else out there but us, baby. Everything pops up for you. So if you can't find us on here by just typing in East Coast GridIron, go to Google. All our stuff pops up. Instagram, X. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch. We're everywhere. One thing I want to tell you guys, man, don't take my word for it. I always tell people, go do your own homework. Yeah. I love people that come into our chat and they make me look at something a different way. Just because I coach, just because I graduated from the Scouting Academy, just because of all that stuff. Disagreements are the best conversation. As long as you pull the facts to the table, because I'll rip you apart if you don't have the facts. I'll just let you know.
I talk your shit, man.
I'll just let you know. You better come with it. But I always go with the same motto. I think I'm an independent thinker. And if you haven't got that from today's conversation here, I'd rather be wrong by myself than wrong in a group of people that all agree on the same things.
I love it, bro.
So that's just me.
And we need more independent thinkers. We don't need everybody to just grab onto one idea and everybody hangs on to it for dear life because one person brought it to the light. I love this, bro, because like I said, a lot of the things you said, I agree with a lot of it. A lot of it you said, I disagree with it. The Sam Hartman, I'm a Notre Dame guy. But we all know, right? Especially, we cover this game, that the collegiate level is different than the NFL, and different strokes for different folks. Different situations works. If he goes somewhere and the right guys get their hands on him, he could be somebody. I mean, we talk about this year in a year, especially with Bo Nix. I've been saying that. If he's in the right situation, Bo Nix can be one of them ones.
Anybody can. And that's what's so fun about this process too, is you have to always consider the fact that it's just like any opportunity in life that you get, right? Mm-hmm. All it takes is for one person to shine a light on you, and Sam Hartman could be in the top 5 for somebody if a big name comes out and says, let it be Kurt Warner. Yeah. He come out tomorrow and say, calling GMs everywhere, you need to pick up Sam Hartman. I see this. That's all it takes. Yeah. But Sam Hartman put his eggs on the table, and he went out there and he did his thing, and he dropped down in the draft rankings. He was his own worst enemy this year. But then again, I always tell people this too, Grav. I hope that one day we take quarterbacks and they can only get drafted in the second round, because I'm tired of quarterbacks that have a lot of talent.
I love it.
I hate that quarterbacks that have a ton of talent go to teams that are just not prepared for them, because how many times have we been ruined by you got to do it right now? Yeah. Bailey Zappi, for example.
Oh my God, bro.
You got to do it right now.
Western Kentucky, right? He absolutely just destroyed it, like every damn record out there.
I'm gonna tell you, I hate you guys because you guys got Gardner Minshew, and I felt like he didn't actually get the spotlight that he probably deserved. And guess what? You compare Trevor Lawrence stats to Gardner Minshew stats, and Gardner Minshew's are better.
But people won't know that because they go off the Clemson light. They go off of him being the big name, number one guy. Think about that. That's right there should let everybody know to do their homework that Gardner Minshew's stats are better than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Think about that. And people won't know because everybody will just say, "Ain't no fucking way, dog."
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Dante did his homework, right?
Yeah. Hey, you were asking me about Shedeur Sanders, right?
Okay.
I know you wanted to get my thoughts on this.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch the Colorado State game, this is how I knew he wasn't him. And it happened throughout the rest of the year. I don't like quarterbacks that aren't able to look at all the weapons he had on that team too when they were healthy. Xavier Weaver. Everybody talks about his offensive line. That left tackle, I forget his name. He actually transferred out to Oregon State, I believe. But he was great. Like, there was no need for Shedeur Sanders to run around as much as he needed to. But here's what happened, and I'm like, this dude just wants to save his completion percentage, and I cannot stand that. He ran around for about 10 seconds against Colorado State. Then he ran out of bounds. 4 yards, negative 4 yards on third down. Fourth down, the kicker came out, and he missed it by exactly 4 yards.
Wow.
I was like, nope, don't trust this kid, and I kept seeing that over and over and over. He's talented. That's what I don't understand. You were so talented.
Yeah.
But I don't want to – people say he has a big arm. Xavier Weaver, I believe it was like 9 times he had to come back and adjust the ball, just like when J.J. McCarthy was throwing it.
I've seen it multiple times. You're right.
Yes, Shedeur needs some help, but his daddy and them is not helping him. I'm a hot take. Shiloh Sanders is a better player than him to me.
Ooh, talk that shit. Hey, real quick, before we get out of here, I want to ask you this. You guys cover the UFL too, right?
Yeah. We took a week off this week because it just got a little hairy with some things back, backstage. But we covered it.
One of my brothers, and well, two of my brothers, really good friends of mine, is Marquette King and Gary on Conley. Yep. Marquette gave me some tickets to go to the Renegades game in Defenders yesterday, right? And I got to ask you this because I was so confused as to the rules of this game. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching the Renegades. They're up by 10 with 40 seconds left. I'm like, oh, everybody's leaving. This shit's over, right? Next thing I know, they come up the field 2 or 3 plays. Defenders score a touchdown. They go for 2. They're down by 2. I'm like, oh, whatever. The game's over. Like they got to do an onside kick. I'm not knowing they don't do onside kicks. So I'm seeing that they get one opportunity to convert on 4th and 12, right? They convert. Their kicker hits a field goal. They win by 1 point. I've never seen any shit like that, bro. Like I was so confused as to what happened. I'm like, wait, bro, like, and I'm going for both teams because I have brothers that play for both teams. But I'm like, what the hell is going on, bro? Like I had no clue.
It's dope. I do like that. I mean, they could have went for an onside kick if they wanted to, but that's what
so you can actually do that.
Yeah, you can go for an onside kick if you want to, but they decided that but you can only do that in the 4th quarter of a game. So I think it's the 4th quarter and the last 2 minutes. You can go for you could take it downfield on that 4th down chance, right?
Yeah.
The St. Louis Battlehawks did that a lot last year, and that's how they won like 3 of their games. They were like the best at it. Okay. And every time we would watch them, because I rooted for the Houston Roughnecks last year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these son of a guns is about to come down and do a 4th down conversion, and they did, and they won the game. And I'm like, man, this ain't fair. But some teams are just really good at it. AJ McCarron was out there doing this thing. So,
what do you think about the kid, Tyler Vaughn? So yesterday he had 109 yards. He had a touchdown. He actually gave my son his gloves. My son was like in awe. He was just so happy. Yeah. Gave him his game gloves. But he's young, USC product. Have you got a chance to really break down some of his stuff?
Yeah, I know he played wide receiver for him at USC. He didn't really stand out too much, but yeah, I mean, him and whatever Luis Perez got going on as far as their relationship. Luis Perez is an absolute beast as a quarterback. I don't know why he hasn't gotten a shot in the NFL just to show his stuff. He's won everywhere that he's been. He won the XFL championship last year. I think he won previous with the Stallions, I believe. Can't remember, but he's won like pretty much everywhere that he's been.
He's a player coach too, Dante. I don't know if people know this. I was watching him on the sideline very closely, and the way he grabbing his players, you go over there, you go like on the sideline, get up, get it. Like he was. I wondered. I seen him, and I was like, I need to do more homework on this kid. I don't know who he is. But I'm like, I love the way he operates with his teammates. You're right. That kid he's something. He's something.
Yeah. This is their second chance, right? So all this stuff matters. Yeah. Can he be a good teammate outside of just performing? I mean, they get interviewed when they make a good play. So he's got to be able to talk to the media as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. NFL wants marketable people too.
I mean, bro,
so.
my brother Marquette King is in the UFL and he was an all-pro talent. The reason why, because of the shenanigans and not being able to. So I like, you know what I mean? He got blackballed from the game. You know what I'm saying? So
My dad was a punter for North Carolina Central, and he's a white guy. Played for HBCU, right?
Oh shit, for real?
Yes, my dad was a punter for North Carolina Central, and he always tells me to this day, that'd be cool if he can get something signed from Marquette King.
Bro, I got it, bro. I was
that would be so funny. He would be so ecstatic about that because that was his favorite punter in the National Football League.
I was supposed to go hang out with him today. I got to call him because we were supposed to go to the cigar lounge. Bro, I got you on that, bro. That's family, bro. Like that's my guy. Like come to the crib and all that good shit. That's my guy, man.
Yeah, so, he loves Marquette, man. He's like, he was so good. Why did he get blackballed? I was like, because you know how it is, man. Like what is seen doesn't need to be said sometimes. You can just assume.
Yeah. Well, tell Pops I got him. I trust me, I got him. And if you want, you got my number. FaceTime me, bro. Next time I'm with Marquette, I'll FaceTime you. We can talk to Pops.
All right. That was good.
I would love it, man. Once again, man, thank you to my brother, man, Dante, for pulling up. Last time, you guys, go over there to East Coast GridIron on YouTube. Go support our brother, man. Thank you, my brother, for blessing the stage today, man, and showing the nation some love. And hey, let's do this again after the draft. I want to break down and let's do some grades with my team. You know what I mean? I would love for you to pull up and give us some real grade. Because I look, independent thinker, right? You're gonna speak your mind, and I love it. And that's what we want.
I got destroyed last year for saying their Lions had an S-tier draft and they had an S-tier team.
And there you go. I love it. You saw it. You said the Lions?
We got roasted when we had an S-tier grade on their draft.
You know why? Well, first of all, I love Jack Campbell. That's one of my favorite linebackers in the draft.
Straight up.
Bro, one of my favorite. But but even me, I felt, oh shit, they took him kind of early. I was like, hold on. I'm like, but okay, cool. This should work. And then Gibbs was already one of my favorite running backs. But I'm like, damn, that early. Holy shit! Like they're tripping a little bit. But guess what? Next thing you know, they're in the NFC Championship.
You got to understand what Dan Campbell's looking for, man.
Yeah, man.
He gonna go off script, but he knows what he wants.
Yeah,
and that makes a great coach. He knows what he wants. And like I said, in this draft with quarterbacks, man, you gotta go get what you need because they might not be there. This is too niche of a draft.
Yeah. Nah, facts, my brother. Salute to you once again, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Thank you guys so much. Wipe them feet on the way out. Hit them thumbs up real quick. Let me OakLosVegas.com. Go get some drip. Any Given Sunday sauces.com. Get you some hot sauce. And go over to PlanetRaiders.com, you guys. My brother has been writing crazy article there you go. At the crazy article. So guess what we're doing tomorrow morning? Coffee and Convo with my brother, Big Mike. We're going to go over his 30 for 30. Salute to my brother downtown supporting. So Big Mike will be on the show tomorrow morning, Coffee and Convo, to break down all his latest articles on PlanetRaiders.com. Once again, man, my brother, I appreciate you. We're going to stay in contact. You already know what time it is, my brother. Salute to everybody. We are outro. One.
See you guys.
That's what I'm talking about.